Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Unrooted Baseball Edition. And my guest for this week's show is none other than senior left-hander on the baseball team here at Menlo College, Taner Harrel. Taner, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
No problem.
Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. We're going to travel back in time here a little bit because we were classmates together a couple of times. Freshman year, lunch in the cafeteria, blue Jello. Was it worth it, Taner?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely worth it. I mean, looking back, it's crazy how time flown by. It's been 4 years, but on and off the baseball field, I've made a lot of good friendships with you and with a lot of my teammates. I consider friends off the field. And I've been blessed with good coaching, and we've done a lot of winning here at Menlo, so it's been a great experience.
I like the answer to that because you completely skirted around the point of the Jello. For those of you who don't know exactly what I'm talking about, because I imagine you don't, you had to be there. Freshman year in the cafeteria, one day at lunch, I was eating some blue raspberry Jello. I was about to eat it anyways, got up to go, I think, refill up my drink, and I come back and my Jello is gone. And I was very confused as to what happened, and everybody at the table pointed fingers to this guy right here.
I mean, in my defense, I didn't know it was your Jello. I thought it was mine. I mean, to this day, I still think it was my Jello. I think it's a misunderstanding. But
no, it's not a misunderstanding.
We'll agree to disagree.
Okay, that works for me. You're one of the two true left-handers on this team, so there you go. You're back on my good side because you're a left-hander like me. What's it like being one of the only players on the team who not only bats but throws from the left side?
Well, I'm always a confident guy and pretty loud, so it just kind of builds to my ego. And it's kind of cool, too, because being one of the only lefties, our hitters don't get to see it too often. So you have guys who want to jump up there and face me and go, maybe one more batter. So It's kind of cool seeing that. But it's definitely a confidence builder, and Coach definitely likes it too.
Do you and Jesse ever pair up when you're warming up? Is it just, do you two kind of break off on your own, or do you throw with a righty typically?
No, my catch partner's Tagawa. He has been all year. I don't know. I'm one of those people who don't like switching things up with baseball. If something's going good, I stay with it.
For sure. Now, this season, you made your first collegiate start. It was against Bethesda a couple of weeks ago. What were some of the differences for you going from relieving like you have your entire collegiate career to all of a sudden being thrust into a starting role?
It was definitely different. It was cool. I haven't started a game in about 4 years since high school, so I didn't really have a starting routine, and my coach came up to me. It was like, how long do you need to get ready? I was like, never been asked that question before. I was like, how long till the game? He goes, about 15 minutes. It's like, okay, I guess I'll go get warm. But it was a fun experience, and it was one of the highlights of my career. But it was definitely funny because Coach was asking me all these questions, how to get, because you usually have a long toss routine and everything like that, and I kind of just played catch with the go and then went to the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to get ready at a moment's notice a lot of times, so all of a sudden having a set amount is just completely foreign to you, I'm sure.
Yeah, I had 30 minutes to myself to just get warm, and I was usually have about 5 minutes. So.
What do I do with all this time? I don't even know.
Yeah.
All right, Taner, let's talk about the team a little bit here. Now, Menlo picked up its first GSAC series win this past weekend. You guys took down Arizona Christian 2 out of 3 games. How great was it to leave the weekend with a winning taste in your mouth?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, it was our first conference series victory, and the first 2 series didn't go our way. There was a lot of tough games, a lot of close games. We lost extra innings. That kind of was discouraging, but finally getting the conference or the series win for conference was big time for our guys, and personally it made us feel a lot better, more confident coming in.
Maybe not so much your specialty, but let's talk a little bit about the bats here. They came out swinging against the Firestorm. Yeah. 28 runs, 34 hits in the doubleheader sweep on Saturday. What did you see from the hitters that allowed them to be so successful?
It's kind of what Coach Carry-On keeps telling our team is see your pitches, see a strike, and hit line drives up the middle. And I feel like a lot of guys, I mean, there's a lot of hits, but there was also a lot of walks. And then when they saw their pitches, they just crushed them. So I think it was sticking to the line drive approach that really got us going, and those hits led to runs.
Yeah. Quick aside, when was the last time you hit?
Live?
Sure.
Live, in a game, or practice-wise?
Let's do game. I know it hasn't been here at Menlo, so let's go game.
Game-wise, it was my senior year of high school. I had about 3 at-bats. I had 1 double.
For the whole year, you had 3 at-bats?
Yeah, I had 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Right. But I've had pitcher's BP last year.
And how'd that go?
Oh, I almost called a home run shot and hit the fence.
Oh,
Yeah,
man. So you're going 320 down the line, and you
Yeah.
almost got it out, man. That must be heartbreaking.
Yeah,
But kind of cool because
I thought
you
it was
called it.
out, and I kind of like flared my arms and then
Yeah,
hit
you're
the
like,
fence.
oh my God, yes, yes, I did it. And then you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
off the wall, darn it. One big turning point for the final game of that series, even though you guys won 20-6, you're like, how could there have been a turning point? Well, the game was tied at 1. Carlos Jimenez on the mound, and he kept the bases loaded for the Firestorm, keeping you guys in the game. Right away, Menlo comes back, puts up 9 runs. Would you agree that that was like the moment everything switched in that game, and how big of a performance was that for Carlos?
I mean, Carlos has been solid all season, keeping us in games. I think baseball is a game of momentum, and getting like off the bases there with no runs was definitely a momentum swing that got our hitters excited to go out there and hit. So I don't know if I would say it was all him getting those 9 runs. I think our hitters did a lot of that too, but it was definitely he helped out. That was huge by him stopping the leakage, I guess.
Yeah, and certainly helps when you have guys like Mason Allen, John Velasco, 2 home runs in the inning. I don't think Carlos was the one swinging the bat, but it was a pretty good confidence boost nonetheless. There's so many new guys in the offense this season that are starting to take charge, but one steady constant is always Joe Gillette. What has his presence done for the younger bats or the newer bats in your lineup this season?
Well, it's a surprise. It's crazy because every year it feels like Menlo gets some more bats, and we have a lot of good hitters, but Joe's been consistent all year, and having him has really set a good example for the younger players, kind of how to hit, like approach-wise.
You were talking about walks in that series against Arizona Christian. Yeah, 34 hits is great, but you guys were getting walks. Joe Gillette leading the team in walks so far, which is something you wouldn't expect from a guy who's going to go out and hit the most home runs on the team, but he's been also one of the most disciplined hitters this season.
Yeah, that's what makes him so hard to get out. Like, even in practice, he knows what he's looking for pitch-wise, and he knows his box. So it's just things like that builds off our offense, and be able to see pitches is just real big time, and exactly what Coach Carrion wants in a player.
Yeah. Now, Menlo goes back on the road this weekend to take on Westmont College. They're one of the best teams in the conference. They always are. You've gone up against them many times before, so what makes them such a potent challenge?
They're always solid at pitching. I mean, their starters are always good, and their bullpen always has velo. They also play good catch. So when you have a team that pitches well and plays good catch, you have to earn all your runs. And I think that's what makes them good from year to year.
For sure. Oaks and Warriors on the road this weekend, 3-game series that begins on Friday. All right, Taner, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answer. Question number 1, which teammate likes Jello the most? You are not an option for this question.
If I'm not an option, I would have to say maybe Alex Thompson.
Why so?
I don't know. He's from Seattle. I feel like he'd be a good Jello guy, just the way he acts and everything.
I didn't know if that was a Seattle thing, or I don't even know where Jello came from, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like especially blue Jello, I feel like he'd be into blue Jello.
I haven't seen any Jello in that cafeteria, probably since you stole it from me.
I haven't seen any blue Jello in there since I maybe.
I think they put in an ordinance after that. Well, look out for this guy. Question number 2, which teammate would make the worst left-hander? And this doesn't have to be in baseball. This can just be in life.
The worst left-hander, I'd go Brand Dietzman.
Why so?
I mean, one, I couldn't imagine his motion from the left side is just too, like, nice and flowy. Lefties are kind of weird.
Lefties always
And
do have that.
Another big thing is he's a double major, accounting and finance. So you can't have that from the left side.
No, you can't. You get, like you said, it's got to be not fluid. It's got to have a little quirk to it, and it can't be that, I don't know, by the books maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
Double major accounting finance? That just seems like someone who's got to stick to the rules, and lefties, we don't stick to the rules.
No.
So that ain't going to work. And then question number 3, if you could choose one teammate to use as a phone a friend on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, who are you choosing and why?
I only get one.
Yeah.
I get to choose one person. This is probably Jordan Tagawa. I mean, he's been known as the smart guy on the team. He's always helping our teammates out with different things for homework and stuff like that. So probably him. He's a tutor also.
I was
So.
gonna say he's got like a 3.95
Yeah,
GPA,
he knows what he's
right?
doing.
Like, yeah, he's way up there. All right, Taner, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
Folks, the baseball team is on the road this weekend. They take on Westmont College, receiving votes in the NAIA preseason coaches poll. That 3-game series, it begins this weekend. Friday, a single game at 2 o'clock, and then the Saturday doubleheader at 11 o'clock before they come back up to NorCal to take on Northern California foe William Jessup University. We invite you to tune into next week's show. Taner Harrel will select the next interviewee by me, Brian Brownfield, right here on Unrooted Baseball Edition. Until then, we'll see you next week, everybody. Take care.